My name's Haley Parker, 27 wannabe software engineer. Well, almost. And at the exact moment this story really kicks off, I'm on my bedroom floor in my parents' house outside Austin, Texas, stuffing 2 garbage bags full of hoodies and half-charged electronics, while a live stream of my older sister Riley is blasting from the living room's smart TV downstairs. She's squealing, 1 million followers, y'all, like she just cured cancer, confetti filters popping behind her perfect blowout, while I'm yanking sticky notes off my secondhand monitor and wondering which charger goes to which fossil-aged laptop. That whiplash her feed exploding with heart emojis. Me reducing 27 years of life to whatever fits in the back seat of a dented '05 Civic is the tone setter, so buckle up. If you'd scrolled Riley's Insta 5 minutes earlier, you'd have seen nothing but pastel flat lays matcha lattes, WFH desk inspo self-care is sacred quotes in looping cursive. She calls herself a success mentor for the post-pandemic hustle generation. Translation: she got laid off from big tech HR last spring, pivoted to productivity coaching, and somehow convinced 1 million strangers she's the voice of hope. Mom and dad eat it up, repost every reel call, her their comeback kid. Meanwhile, I'm upstairs gluing my 4th resume to the bottom of a recruiter email because my UX bootcamp capstone is due next week, and I still have to QA test rehab exoskeleton software nights to cover tuition. Our family motto used to be, Parker girls help each other rise. Tonight, it's Riley rises, while Haley packs trash bags. How did we skid to this rewind 3 hours? Mom's pounding on my door, eyes puffy phone shaking in her hand like it's radioactive. Dad's behind her red-faced breath short. She thrusts the screen at me, fake Bank of America interface, $55,000 wire transfers, rolling to an account labeled Haley P. Tuition. Next slide, a doctored text thread, my avatar confessing, "Can't believe I drained their retirement, but boot camp isn't cheap, lol. It's so obviously AI generated." I can spot mismatched font kerning from 6 feet away. But panic slams into me, because my parents don't code, they just consume. Riley's voice sails in from the hallway, syrup sweet. "Mom, Dad, I'm so sorry you had to find out like this, but I couldn't watch her use you anymore." She even adds a sad face filter to the screenshots. I try to explain deep fake artifacts, SHA-256 hash mismatches show my real ledger balance hovering near 0. But Dad's already scanning the bags on my bed like evidence. He says the words I'll replay later, half rage, half heartbreak, 2 hours hail. After that, the locks change. While I'm shoving boots into laptop sleeves, Riley leans against the doorframe in a lemon yellow blazer, probably #sponsored, twisting her new silver metronome between 2 fingers. Little wooden one vintage click click click. Keeping perfect time like she's soundtracking my downfall. That metronome used to sit on my physical therapy desk when I interned at St. David's, helping stroke patients practice gait cadence. I left the unit last month after switching to coding full-time. Riley borrowed it for mindfulness reels. Now every tick feels like judgment. I reach to grab it, she flips it shut, smirks cluttersis. "Let it go." The click stops, but my pulse doesn't. Downstairs, Jordan Lee, my boot camp buddy, the only one who answered my all-caps SOS, honks his Civic. He insisted on driving because I'm shaking too hard to hold keys. Mom trails me to the foyer, still sobbing, but it's that tight theatrical cry that says, "Why are you doing this to us?" She hands over a Ziploc of protein bars like, "That fixes betrayal." Dad stands rigid by the trophy shelf. Riley's cheer medals my old robotics plaques, arms crossed. No hug, no, are you sure you didn't? Just a curt nod toward daylight. Riley pops up behind them, phone angled to catch my exit for her boundaries highlight reel. I stare at her 1 second longer than Healthy memorized the bored half-smile, the silicone bracelet on her wrist. A band I soldered from scrap PCB at Maker Faire, gift tag, reading text should heal, not hurt. Seeing it on her makes nausea claw my throat. I turn away. The door slams. 2-hour timer ends 20 minutes early. The Civic groans down the block. Jordan's talking, but I only hear data packets, timestamps, metadata, how he can scrape Riley's alleged bank proof from her Insta story before it vanishes. My phone lights up with Grandma's text heart emoji. I believe you, and right underneath Riley's story link. Tough love family can be toxic too. Boundaries, # financial abuse, survivor. 10,000 likes in 6 minutes. Comments are all high-five emojis or "so brave, queen." I almost hurl. In the rear view, the house shrinks, but I swear I still hear that metronome ticking, counting down something I can't yet name. Jordan pulls into a 24-hour diner because crisis calories require pancakes at 11 p.m. Under neon flicker, he opens his laptop, hacks into Riley's screenshot, EXIF data, finds compression artifacts, screaming GAN synthesis. He's giddy, digital forensics is his love language, but my stomach's knots don't loosen. Proof is great. Parents willing to read it, another story. I rub the little silicone chips on my own wristband, identical twin to Riley's, except mine's scuffed traces of solder. Symbol of building tech ethically, or maybe of my naivete. Jordan drops his voice. "We'll clear you, Hale, but we gotta move fast." Viral lies set like concrete. Outside, a freight train whistles steel grinding. Feels prophetic. At 1 a.m., I'm in his guest room, single mattress, wedged between code-stacked boxes and half-assembled drones. No metronome ticking, just router fans. I should pass out, but replay loops Riley. Angling that phone, Dad's unused hug, Mom's protein bars. I glance at the silicone bracelet, vow to rewrite its story. Then my screen lights unknown number, voicemail transcription, auto-loads. "Thought you'd be smarter, sis. Game's just starting. Sleep tight. Voice unmistakable." Metronome clicks faintly in the background. My blood goes cold. Story over. Not even close. This is simply beat 1, and the metronome just started counting, a brand new rhythm I'm determined to rewrite. I wake up on Jordan's sagging futon with the kind of headache you earn from all-night code sprints and emotional sandstorms combine the router's LED strobing Morse code against the ceiling and somebody's lawnmower already chewing the 8 a.m. Saturday silence. For 3 long breaths, I forget why I'm here, but the minute my phone pings another stranger calling me a snake in the comments of Riley's boundary post, it all comes roaring back. Fake wires, trash bags, suitcases, the metronome's smug click. I roll onto the floor plant, my palms, and promise the dust bunnies that I'm not the kind of girl who stays down 2 mornings in a row. Jordan's already at his desk in the living room, hoodie, half on MacBook, lit like a campfire. Pulled metadata till 3, he says without looking up. I've got hash collisions, mismatched SSL certs, whole buffet, proving those transfers never touched your accounts. He taps a key green terminal, text flickers. Problem is, proof doesn't matter if nobody sees it. That's the first gut punch of the day truth. In the age of influence, is a tree falling in the forest. No viral sound, no one cares. I shower so fast the water's still cold dress in the same jeans I wore yesterday because the rest of my wardrobe is balled up in hefty bags. The silicone bracelet feels heavier this morning, as if the little recycled chips inside are absorbing my panic, storing it for later discharge. Over stale diner coffee left on Jordan's counter, I scroll Riley's overnight numbers. Another 42,000 new followers, brand new #family fraud series, announced teaser video, already monetized. She's wearing the metronome on a chain now, dangling it near the camera, like a relic. Caption, counting down to my healing. The audacity makes the room tilt. Jordan snaps his fingers in front of my face. Focus. First step is filing an official IC3 complaint. Identity theft, wire, fraud, whatever sticks. You ready to talk to cops? My throat goes dessert dry. Cops mean paperwork that lives forever, mean parents dragged into it, mean Lily's world shaken harder. But I picture Dad's back as he barred the doorway, Mom crying, performance tears. Riley's voicemail whisper, thought you'd be smarter. And I nod. Print the packet. We hit the Travis County Sheriff substation by noon. Detective Amelia Alvarez greets us in a cluttered office that smells like fabric softener and burnt coffee sleeves, rolled hair in a tight braid, eyes scanning like LiDAR. I present bank statements, boot camp invoices, Jordan's forensic docs. She asks precise questions, any prior disputes. Current residents' cloud storage passwords. When I mention deepfake software, her eyebrows rise. We've had 3 AI fraud cases this quarter. Judges are still catching up. She taps my bracelet with her pen. That store data, I explain, the memory chip soldered inside my little symbol of tech for good. Alvarez smirks. Keep it safe. Chain of evidence might depend on that. She copies it to a forensic USB, writes case number 22 5987. Hearing it spoken aloud flips a switch. I'm no longer victim, I'm plaintiff. That legal term carries weight like a Kevlar vest. I stand a little straighter walking out. Boot camp meets in a WeWork downtown, glass walls plastered with neon sticky notes. Today's demo day, investors, roaming students pitching prototypes. I'm late, eyes puffy, but Priya Patel, curriculum lead single mom, who knows hustle scars, flags me toward an empty desk. You don't owe this room an explanation, she whispers, sliding me her spare Mac charger. But code speaks louder than gossip. I load my half-finished health tech dashboard, fingers trembling refactor CSS while mentors circle. Sweat dots my bracelet. I wipe it on my jeans, mouth sour. Evan Brooks, scruffy founder of a sports rehab startup, stops at my screen. That predictive strain index model, yours, I nod. He asks for a quick lightning pitch. I give him the 30-second version, machine learning meets physical therapy triage, inspired by veterans who taught me how to calibrate a gait cycle. His eyes spark. We're hiring junior devs. Background checks standard, but I like what I see. My stomach lurches. Background check means the fake theft allegations may flag. Still, I hand him my GitHub handle. Pray truth outruns rumor. Jordan pings me mid-session, big development. Riley just scheduled an IG live for 8 p.m. title, exposing more lies. Think she'll drop more fakes. My pulse hops. We need to intercept, I type back. Counter evidence live, or nobody will believe screenshots. He hits me with a skull emoji. Alvarez's words echo. Judges are still catching up. Courts move at dial-up, socials at 5G. We need public sentiment first. Legal wins later. Risk go head-to-head on a platform she owns. Reward reclaim narrative. I text grandma for sanity. She responds with a photo of Lily wearing butterfly wings at a birthday party, bracelet twin on her tiny wrist, caption, "Real love is sticky, kiddo." Tears prick, stakes sharpen. Dusk. We commandeer Jordan's living room again, string Ethernet cables like spider silk. Plan spin up a Twitch stream 5 minutes before Riley's IG live, broadcast our evidence with timestamps, invite TechLaw Twitter to dissect in real time. Jordan's roommate Gabe handles OBS scenes, overlays hash values, like ESPN stats ticker. Priya arrives balancing pizza boxes, flips open her laptop, ready to moderate hate spam. I clutch the bracelet, breathe through the lemon pledge scent of fear. At 7:55, we push the go live button. Viewer count flickers, 12:30, 2:20. Hi internet, I'm Haley Parker. Tonight my sister will accuse me of robbing our parents. I'm here to show you the math. My voice shakes but holds. We display the raw JSON from Riley's so-called bank screenshots. Jordan zooms on copy-paste artifacts, proves they never passed Boway's checksum. Chat explodes. Yo, this is legit. Font mismatch in row 18. Free Haley. My heart drums to metronome tempo, though the room is silent. 8 p.m. sharp, Riley's live pings open in a side window. She's in a ring light halo metronome ticking loud like a horror soundtrack. She waves a manila folder tagged New Evidence, but her smile flickers when she sees comments flooding with our Twitch link. Looks like trolls are active. She laughs, tries to pivot. We pull up her digital wallet address. Jordan traced microtransactions from the fake wires straight into an exchange under Riley's LLC. We expose it live, block scan proof stamped on chain. Audience emojis flip from hearts to sirens. My phone buzzes, dad calling. I ignore it. Viewer count rockets past 15K, Riley's ring light goes harsh. She fumbles the folder, metronome clatters off screen. A ceiling fan blade slices the frame. Her feed freezes. Our chat erupts in popcorn gifs, but victory taste is fleeting. Detective Alvarez texts. Need you at station now. Bank alerted KYC anomaly. We've frozen your parents' joint account until statements verified. My gut sinks. Mom and dad live paycheck to paycheck on teacher pensions. Freezing funds means mortgage autopay bounces. Groceries vanish. They'll blame me faster than before. Alvarez adds, Perp may target you in retaliation. Stay together. She sends a live photo, my Civic parked outside Jordan's place. Front tire slashed clean through, silicone bracelet copy draped over the gash like a calling card. Riley's brand color lemon yellow nail polish streaked across side panel. You started this. I taste metal. Priya mutters a curse in Gujarati. Gabe locks the door. Jordan checks Wi-Fi cams. We cut the stream viewers still spamming #HaleyTruth in chat. I'm shaking so hard I can't feel my feet. Part of me wants to scream, screw them all, let the account stay frozen. Let parents feel betrayal's bite. But Lily's face in Grandma's photo glows in my memory. Mortgage stress swings collateral onto that kid. I grab Alvarez's USB stick, shove it into my hoodie. We have to show Dad the block scan tonight, I say. Jordan blinks. After the tire. We take his truck. Priya offers keys up. Risk escalates /tire. Means Riley's lurking. But doing nothing means letting lies calcify again. I knot my bracelet tighter. The edges bite skin. Gadget meant to remind me tech can heal time to make it true. Priya's beat-up Tacoma rattles toward my old subdivision, autumn oak shadows, stretching like claws across asphalt. Dashboard clock ticks with uncanny metronome rhythm. I swallow bile. Jordan scrolling real-time sentiment graphs, Hatch exposing more. Lies trending, but Riley's follower growth stalls. Small victory. Houses loom a cul-de-sac of porch lights and plastic pumpkins. Dad's F-150 sits in the drive engine, idling. He's in the cab alone, face ghostly blue from phone glow. I approach, slow hands visible. He lowers the window half-inch, his eyes bloodshot. Bank froze us. Groceries declined, words sharp as gravel. I pull a printout of the on-chain ledger, hand it through the crack. Your account's clean. Riley rerouted test deposits into her crypto wallet. We have proof. Detective Alvarez can explain in the morning. Dad scans jaw slack. How could she? He breaks shoulders, shuddering. My anger deflates, leaves hollow ache. He whispers, your mother's inside doesn't know what to believe. I picture Mom rearranging trophies, praying the universe resets. I don't step toward the house. Not yet. Boundaries cut both ways. Headlights flare behind us. An Uber SUV pulls up. Riley steps out, metronome in one hand. Phone live streaming in the other. Lemon blazer glowing under street lamp. Internet wants a reunion, she chirps, camera swiveling to me. Dad recoils. I square my shoulders, raise Alvarez's evidence bag bracelet glinting like soldered justice. Riley's smile twitches. You can't spin deep fake corruption on a 4K lens. I say loud enough for her mic. Tell your viewers how Bank of America flagged your LLC for KYC fraud. Comments on her screen scroll rabid share arrow icons. She lunges to snatch the bag, but Dad's shock finally finding spine steps between us. Enough, Riley. The metronome slips from her grasp, clatters onto the driveway wooden shell cracking open. Gears spill like tiny bones. Click, click, click. Then silence. Even the cicadas hush. Riley's eyes go wild. She grips the broken pieces, backing toward the rideshare, shouts, "You'll regret this!" Uber driver peels off before the doors shut. Taillights vanish. My bracelet feels lighter, like some circuit just completed. Dad looks at the shattered metronome at me, at the evidence bag. Haley! He croaks, voice paper thin. Behind him, the porch light flicks on Mom's silhouette in doorway, Lily beside her, in pajamas, clutching a butterfly plush. Night air stalls, thick with questions. I'm not ready to forgive, but I'm done running. I tell Dad, comm detective wants statements first thing. Tell Mom groceries are on me till the freeze lifts. He nods, tears straddling relief and shame. Jordan flashes his phone, Alvarez texting. Arrest warrant in motion, need formal witness IDs by dawn. The street lamp hum shifts, pitch distant siren. Starts climbing the night. Priya taps her watch. We have 3 hours before sunup. Bank lawyers, headline roulette. I glance at Lily, she waves, shy bracelet twin shining. I wave back. Cliff edge choice looms, testify against my sister and shatter what's left of family, or hesitate and let her rewrite the narrative again. Siren grows louder, blue-red strobe licking treetops. I inhale copper-tasting courage and step toward the police light stories and metronomes finally aligning on the same relentless beat. I follow the siren glow like I'm drifting up a conveyor belt, mind running 1,000 debug threads at once, case number, chain of custody. How many TikToks are already remixing my showdown in the driveway? Alvarez's cruiser stops at the corner. An officer I don't know ropes off the street with crime scene tape more out of crowd control than evidence. A neighbor's porch camera blinks red footage that'll be on next door before dawn, while Dad edges close enough for the deputy to wave him back. His eyes beg me to fix what he's only now admitting he helped break. And I hate that some bruised part of me still wants to repair it for him. Inside the car, Alvarez tosses me a Kevlar-backed warmth, witness not suspect. Buckle up. Jordan and Priya climb into an unmarked unit behind us, each clutching hard drives like they're newborns. The ride downtown is 15 minutes of recycled AC and the clack of Alvarez's nails on the MDT keyboard. But in my head, the broken metronome keeps time click, click, even though it's lying in pieces on Dad's lawn. The bracelet's edges dig each time I flex my wrist, reminding me this is what choosing truth feels like, sharp, permanent. Booking intake smells like cafeteria bleach, an old printer toner. Alvarez parks me an interview to a beige cube with one tragic ficus. She reads Miranda, even though she doesn't have to have it. She shrugs, then slides a waiver for audio recording across the table. I sign. My signature looks steadier than I feel. She hits record and lets me talk the boot camp hustle. Riley's AI screenshots the voicemail with faint metronome ticks. When I choke on the part about being disowned, she doesn't fill the silence, just waits till words start again. Jordan's forensic timeline follows laser-point precise Riley, banking a $4.99 charity webinar payout at 2:10 p.m. 90 seconds later, the supposed parental transfer lands in the same wallet. Lazy criminals forget latency exists. Priya testifies last, explaining how influencer economy rewards outrage, how Riley planned an 8-video arc-teasing family betrayal that just happened to coincide with brand deal deadlines. Alvarez nods like a professor hearing a thesis she already graded. Near dawn, she clicks the file closed, muttering, "Judge Morales owes me a favor. With this, we'll have a warrant signed before coffee." While she disappears to draft paperwork, they stick us in a witness lounge with vending machine burritos no one's brave enough to try. I scroll my phone under fluorescent hum. My DMs are a war zone, random strangers calling Riley a sociopath, others insisting I forged tonight's stream conspiracies, blooming faster than I can mute them. Someone edited a GIF of the metronome exploding into Bitcoin logos. It already has 500,000 loops. I should feel vindicated, but victory by meme is sour. Reputation is still just code. Other people run on your name, and code can always be patched into lies. Evan from the demo. Day messages a single line. Heard about the drama, still want to talk, and I exhale a breath. I didn't realize I'd been holding. Then Grandma texts a sunflower, and Lily's asleep house, calm, proud of you. I picture the kid clutching her butterfly plush bracelet, glowing under nightlight, unaware her world edges toward court dockets. I've spent all night building a case that could put her mother in jail, somewhere between justice and annihilation. And for the first time, doubt flickers. What if I'm coding a fix that breaks someone else's heart beyond recovery? 6:22 a.m. Detective Alvarez sweeps back in triumphant. Warrant is signed. Riley Nicole Parker, felony fraud and identity theft. They've pinged APD to pick her up at the condo she subleases downtown. She used that address on too many brand 1099s. Influencer ego is an evidence gift. Alvarez warns me it could still be hours before arraignment, suggests we crash on benches. I'm too wired, so I pace the hallway tiles, counting off UI patterns for a side project in my head. Around 7, a jail tech clerk prints me a victim resource packet, badly kerning Times New Roman, and as she hands it over, her eyes widen. "Oh my God, you're that sister from TikTok, the one with the metronome thing." I force a thin smile, take the stapled sheets, hurry away. Even here, story outruns substance. An hour later, my parents arrive. They look like they aged a decade overnight. Mom's hair is still in yesterday's messy bun. Dad's collar misbuttoned. A deputy escorts them to a family room, asks if I'll join. Jordan squeezes my shoulder, "Your call." I go. because boundaries mean choosing the moments you can withstand. Mom bursts into apology static. How they panicked after the first screenshots. How church ladies piled on, how shame warped their judgment. She reaches for my hands and stops at the bracelet, as if the sharp solder edges might cut. Dad stays quieter, dropping only one brutal line. I believe the child who shouted loudest. I see him seeing that sentence for the first time, how flimsy it sounds out loud. I don't give absolution. I hand them copies of the chain analysis and instruct them to forward every suspicious email Riley ever sent. That's the extent of our reconciliation paperwork. But Mom whispers, "Please don't let them take Lily away. She needs some part of her family whole." I nod, keeping Lily whole as my North Star. But whether that includes them is a separate branch of logic I haven't debugged yet. Just before 10, a sergeant pops his head in Riley's in custody en route. They'll process her, then magistrate hearing at 11. Alvarez asks if I want to watch. Jordan thinks it's closure. Priya warns it could traumatize. I weigh it like unit tests. Seeing her cuffed might feel like recompilation success. But the bigger release is ensuring system integrity, not gloating over a crashed process. Still, I walk to the observation gallery, curiosity heavier than fear. They bring Riley in through side doors, wrist-shackled blazer traded for county gray. Her eyes search the glass. When they find me, she tilts her head, a barely there smile, the look of a gambler doubling down. The judge reads counts. Bond set at $100K cash. Riley's attorney, some live-stream-friendly guy I recognize from celeb DUI cases, argues she's an entrepreneur with deep community ties. Alvarez forwards him the crypto flowchart. Judge quadruples the bond. Riley never flinches. That's when my stomach knots. She planned for this contingency. 1 million followers equals crowdfunding. She'll spin arrest into martyrdom. GoFundMe link already primed. My relief evaporates. This isn't endgame, it's just level 2. Outside the courthouse, morning sun nukes any illusion of secrecy. Reporters cluster mics waving. I shield my face with the statement packet and hustle to Priya's Tacoma. One journalist yells, "Haley, did you frame your sister first?" Another is the metronome, a cult symbol. Jordan laughs darkly. Welcome to narrative free-for-all. Phone buzzes a notification that chills me. Breaking exclusive new footage shows Haley. Threatening niece. A blue-check gossip account posts a grainy clip of me in Dad's driveway, leaning toward Lily angle, distorted to look confrontational. Audio is fuzzy, but someone overdubbed, "You'll never see your mom again." It's fake, I said. "You'll see me soon again from 20 feet away." But truth loses frame rate against scandal. Comments explode. #save Lily trending next to Free Haley algorithm, pitting me against myself. I taste acid. We'd expected Riley to lean on sympathy, but forging child endangerment crosses a legal tripwire CPS, maybe kidnapping accusations. Jordan hammers at his phone, watermark traces to a troll farm we flagged last week. She's got amplification bots. Priya slams the dashboard. The longer that circulates, the likelier social services knock on Grandma's door. Time to pivot. We can't just play defense. Back at Jordan's apartment, we convene a war room whiteboard, scribbles laptops humming cold brew drip. Step 1, contact Evan's COO. She interned at Twitter, pre-Musk knows, expedited takedown channels. Step 2, Alvarez lines up a sworn affidavit clarifying timeline with police GPS stamps proving I never approached Lily alone. Step 3, Grandma FaceTimes holding Lily's Saturday art project, a popsicle stick butterfly with a silicone bracelet drawn in neon marker. She lets Lily talk, Auntie Haley. I'm learning arrays 1, 2, 3, innocence in HD is rally fuel. We film a reply quick but genuine, me and Jordan explaining arrays with pizza slices. Lily giggling. We push it to TikTok with #TeachTechNotHate tag. Within an hour, it outranks the doctored driveway clip. People prefer wholesome if you hand it to them fast and shareable. By mid-afternoon, Evan drops by unannounced fresh beard stubble and a laptop under his arm. I scheduled you a technical interview for Tuesday, he blurts. But honestly, I'm here because my board is spooked. They like your code but fear PR blowback. He waves his Mac open an investor Slack thread where half the VCs celebrate my gumption, half worry. I'll bring lawsuit headlines to their seed round. I want to scream, I didn't choose this circus. Riley built it, but he's frank. If you pass the interview, I'll fight for you. Still, they want assurance you won't get dragged into a custody battle. My chest caves. The job was the one future piece untouched. I ask for time. He nods and leaves, leaving the smell of cedar and venture money in his wake. Priya eyes me. You can't let sister drama strip your career. We'll firewall it. Evening haze creeps in. Riley posts $250K bond within 6 hours. Her GoFundMe smashes target in 42 minutes, led by a crypto influencer, claiming our case proves banks oppress independent women. She live streams, walking out, ankle monitor flashing, quoting MLK about injustice. My fingernails dig half moons in my palms. Alvarez calls, warning she can't approach victims, but will try intimidation online. Law doesn't muzzle her Wi-Fi. I ask if protective order covers digital harassment. She sighs, Texas statutes fuzzy. Screenshot everything. At 9 p.m., Dad texts a shaky selfie of broken metronome pieces in a Ziploc caption, evidence-bagged. It dawns on me, he fished fragments from grass after we left, maybe searching for contrition in gears Riley abandoned. I reply, chain of custody freeze. He thumbs up. Tiny progress. 10:30, Jordan's doorbell rings. Doorcam shows a courier holding a yellow envelope. Inside, a cease and desist from Riley's attorney threatening defamation suit over our Twitch broadcast. Last page bears a single sticky note, TikTok. Jordan snorts. She's literally memeing legal threats. My laugh sounds like glass. He pulls out whiskey. Priya declines but stays. We argue strategy until words slur. Midnight approaches when an idea sparks. Riley counts on centralizing narrative. What if we decentralize? We could turn every piece of discovery code, hashes, timestamps into a public Git repo, open source the evidence license, CC0 invite cybersecurity pros to contribute. Transparency is armor. Sue me for defamation when half the InfoSec community signed your fraud packet. Risk courts might view it as doxing personal data if we're careless. Reward crowdsourced truth scales faster than smear campaigns. Priya's eyes blaze. Call it Project Recode. The name rings. That workshop dream I shelved. I feel something shift, like the moment a broken bone knits stronger. We spend 2 hours sanitizing documents, redacting SSN's miners' details, and push the first commit at 2:07 a.m. README includes a mission building resilient systems of accountability in the age of AI deception. Within minutes, star counts climb. A verified threat intel analyst forks the repo adds blockchain visualizations. Twitter buzz flips, hashtag recode proof trending, above, hashtag free Riley. The internet's fickle, but tonight momentum tilts our way. I exhale, realize I haven't eaten all day, chew a protein bar from mom's pity Ziploc irony, tastes like chocolate chip chalk. Phone dings, unknown number. I brace for hate, but it's a voice memo. Lily's whisper. Auntie Grandma said I can call. I made the butterfly fly across the hallway. Love you. My heart stutters. Then a second file static, Riley's voice strangled with fury. End the repo, or I release the insurance video. Jordan's laptop pings new private message to the repo from an account called Metronome Mama, threatening to leak footage showing me coaching Lily to lie. He traces IP at roots through a VPN in Belarus, but the commit signature matches Riley's MacBook serial she once posted in a techie brag reel. In the same minute, my email alerts me, CPS intake form referencing anonymous tip of emotional abuse by me. Timestamp 2:19 a.m. She's weaponizing the system that's supposed to protect kids. Priya stands, pacing, ranting about how systems can't parse nuance at 3 a.m., how the first report sticks in databases forever. Jordan already scripting a bot to snapshot Riley's threats for the repo. I sit there listening to the silicone bracelet hum against my pulse, wondering if justice is just an infinite loop and whether Lily will drown in it. Alvarez texts again. She's seen the repo, calls it ingenious but risky. She warns that Riley's attorney just filed motion alleging we tampered with evidence by crowdsourcing. Hearing that, exhaustion finally crashes over me. Every neuron aches like overclocked CPU. But I also feel this simmering alloy of defiance and clarity. We're no longer dancing to Riley's beat. We set tempo now, and the world can choose which rhythm to follow. I look out Jordan's window. Dawn's first smear stains the sky-burnt peach. In 5 hours, I'll meet Evan's senior engineer for a whiteboard coding challenge that could salvage my career. In maybe 6 hours, CPS could ring Grandma's bell. In 7, Riley will probably be on a podcast spinning fresh distortions. But for this sliver of pre-sun silence, I own the narrative, I and everyone who forked the repo. The broken metronome is evidence, not prophecy. I turn to Jordan and Priya. We're past defense, I say. It's time to push an update nobody can roll back. Jordan grins, Priya nods, and somewhere outside, a lone mockingbird mimics the beep of the courthouse ankle monitor fading into dawn. That beep becomes our new tempo, and with a last sip of cold brew, we start coding the next release, unaware that Riley's so-called insurance video is already uploading to a shadow platform. Its countdown clock synced perfectly to a hearing none of us saw coming. Tuesday kicks off with the kind of sky Austin reserves for coyotes and coders. Flat gunmetal clouds hanging so low, you feel you could copy-paste them into Photoshop. And I'm pacing Jordan's kitchen island, rehearsing big O notations under my breath, while the espresso machine sputters like it's judging my recursion. 5 hours of half-awake repo curating has left my eyeballs sandpaper raw, but the senior engineer at Rehab Forge will not care that my sister tried to deep fake me into oblivion. He'll care whether I can invert a binary tree without Googling. I choke down a spoonful of yogurt. Remember halfway through that yogurt expired yesterday, decide I've eaten worse during finals, and keep shuffling flashcards. The silicone bracelet scrapes the countertop every time I pass. Last night, I tightened the straps so hard, the PCB ridges stamped a pattern in my skin that looks like Morse code. I like to imagine it spells, keep pushing. At 7:20, Priya tosses me her lucky flannel blue-on-black checks that announce I'm chill but competent, and Jordan hands me a USB loaded with all repo commits in case the interviewer asks about proof of my incident-driven DevOps. I sling my laptop bag, ignoring the CPS email still starred unread. Focus first on the code that could bankroll everything, then deal with bureaucrats. Traffic to the South Congress collab space is mercifully thin. Apparently, even startup dreamers respect a dawn drizzle. Evan greets me in the lobby with 2 coffees, eyes flicking to my bracelet like it's a secret handshake. Boards watching live stream numbers, he murmurs, but they also watched your array pizza lesson. Kid-friendly STEM goes a long way. We ride the elevator past mural walls plastered with motivational garbage. Ship fearlessly. Iterate like tomorrow's dead. And I think about Lily's butterfly wings fluttering around Grandma's hallway. How none of the slogans mention collateral damage. The interview room has 3 whiteboards, 1 restless fern, and Ian, the senior engineer, mid-30s top knot, and Allbirds marker already uncapped. He nods at Evan, then at me. Haley Wright, heard you've had a week. I shrug. Just some exception handling. He smirks. We're on. First prompt, design a data structure that predicts ligament strain based on time-stamped micromovements. Basically the capstone I built, so muscle memory carries me. 15 minutes in, I've drawn a weighted graph, color-coded hotspots, and tossed in a cute pun about ACL tears. Ian raises eyebrows but keeps the poker face. Second prompt, optimize database writes under concurrency. I channel my bootcamp all-nighters lock-free queue CRDT variant, still steady. I'm halfway through explaining delta syncs when Ian's Apple Watch dings. He flinches, tries to hide it, but Evan's phone buzzes the same instant. My gut drops viral storm inbound. They exchange a look I can't parse. Evan clears his throat. Interview's going great. Mind a quick break, I nod, wiping dry erase dust off my hands that are suddenly trembling. Outside, Evan shows me a news push alert. Riley Parker releases proof of sister's emotional abuse insurance. Video goes viral. The thumbnail is Lily's face, mid-cry timestamp overlay doctored to last year. I feel my pulse in my teeth. I open the clip, grainy Riley's kitchen, me crouched next to Lily, voice pitched urgent. Riley's caption says, I'm coaching Lily to lie to CPS. The audio is clearly spliced, but the casual viewer won't hear artifacts. They'll see a kid tearing up and me leaning in like a villain. Comments already roasting. Lock her up twice. Repo queen masks abuse behind code. The clip dropped at 8:03, 8 minutes into my interview, and has 400,000 views. Evan grimaces. Board Slack is blowing up. We know deep fakes, but public perception. He trails off. My throat tightens. One algorithm decided my future in real time. I swallow hard. Let me finish the whiteboard. Then decide. Back inside, Ian nods like nothing happened. Third prompt, implement undo redo stack for VR rehab gestures. I draw and talk faster than my fear-referencing diff logs in my GitHub. When I hand him the marker, my voice doesn't shake. Ian caps it expression unreadable. Evan escorts me to the lobby. They'll confer an email, he says, but his tone betrays uncertainty. I thank him, step into rain that's now a downpour. In the Tacoma, Priya blasts the defroster. Jordan's in back with laptop open eyes scanning. Repo traffic up 20% since that video. Good sign, he offers weakly. My phone buzzes, grandma voice quivering. CPS is here. Heart detonates. She puts the line on speaker. A calm social worker introduces herself, says there was an anonymous tip of psychological manipulation they're required to assess Lily's safety. I tell her I'm 5 minutes away. Jordan accelerates through a yellow light. Wipers screech. Priya mutters prayers. At Grandma's bungalow, 2 CPS workers stand beneath umbrellas, while Lily peers from the window, confusion wrinkling her forehead, butterfly paint from school spirit day. I jog up show ID, breathe out a summary police case number, evidence bag numbers, deep fake context. One worker, Martinez, scans my bracelet, asks softly, "Mind if we talk with Lily privately?" Grandma nods. I crouch, meet Lily's eyes, and say, "They just want to make sure everyone's telling the real story. Remember a raise?" She nods, brave. They enter. We wait under the porch awning, listening to rain crust on leaves like frying pans. An eternity later, they return. Martinez says Lily appears well cared for, but they still need to file interim findings. Video allegations require digital forensics. She requests a copy of our repo. Jordan airdrops. As they leave, Martinez hands me a card, whispers, "Keep logs. You're doing right by her." Relief leaks out my knees. I nearly collapse. Grandma hugs me, bracelet digs between us. Phone buzzes Evan. I brace, board slit but Ian's rec hire, he says. "We need clearance doc confirming CPS isn't investigating you directly." I exhale, realize I've been holding breath since driveway night. "I'll get it." He adds, "And Haley, that thing you said about exception handling, best answer all day." Call ends. Jordan whoops. Priya exclaims, "Girl, you just coded through a smear campaign," but dopamine barely lands before a new push alert. Judge fast-tracks civil injunction. Riley Parker granted temporary restraining order against sister over online harassment, hearing 3 p.m. It's noon. She leveraged the cease and desist and the viral video to paint me as aggressor. Her attorney filed at 5 a.m. hearing set for this afternoon. If granted, the TRO could freeze the repo, gag me from speaking about evidence, maybe bar me from Lily. Alvarez texts, "Motion is ex parte, you can appear or default." Jordan rants about slap suits, Priya already. Googling pro bono speech lawyers. We convene crisis counsel at Grandma's dining table, dimpled wood older than my parents' marriage witness, now to laptops, cold pizza, and orchid-patterned teacups. Grandma stands by with banana bread, but keeps silent, letting the new-gen war room click. Option A, fight, TRO ourselves. Risky short notice. Option B, secure counsel. Priest Collins from my parents' church calls Dad's request and offers their community lawyer, but that feels like walking into Lion Den. Then, an unexpected ping, Mark Johnson Riley's ex-husband DMing from some nondescript profile. He says he has intel Riley pulled similar smear during custody mediation, forged therapy logs, extorted hush money. He's willing to testify if we help him secure his own visitation rights. I stare at the message, chills crawling. Another puzzle piece. Priya points out Mark's statement could nuke Riley's credibility at TRO hearing, maybe flip custody contingency our way. Grandma, uncharacteristically fierce, says, "Bring him in." Enough people feared her mouth. I text Mark address. He arrives in 40 minutes, beard stubble and accountant suit wrinkled. Lily squeals, "Daddy," hugs him, first reunion in months. Martinez, still in driveway, sees the interaction, makes note. Mark shares a flash drive of emails Riley bragging about follower count bump each time she posts smear about X plus draft scripts of the insurance video timestamps match editing software. My skin prickles. She storyboarded a daughter's tears like CGI. Time check 1:40. The courthouse is 20 minutes away barring traffic. Jordan prints Mark's affidavit. Priya rapid fires bullet points. We pile into the Tacoma Mark, driving now, and Lily stays with Grandma, under neighbor's watch. Rain eases to mist. Downtown glass towers glare. We pass a billboard for a fintech startup preaching "Trust the chain." And I bark a laugh so harsh, Mark jerks the wheel. Inside County Court Number 5 feels like a high school auditorium with marble floors. Riley sits front row with lawyer and 2 ring light assistants capturing B-roll. Her ankle monitor peeks below skinny jeans, but her grin is influencer perfect. She sees Mark, and for the first time, panic flicks across her face. She whispers to counsel, who stiffens. Judge Carter enters brisk. Riley's attorney launches my repo, allegedly violates defamation, and harasses her. Video proves I indoctrinate child. Restraining order protects free speech from vigilante mob. I'm up. Priya passes me photos. Jordan cues visualizer. I Speak repo is open source evidence fully redacted. Child video is deep fake as shown by metadata. Present sworn affidavit from Mark on pattern of manipulation. We display voice frequency analysis showing cuts every 0.7 seconds. Judge interrupts, asks expert credentials. Jordan presents resume cybercrime fellowship graduate, fellowship starting fall. I brace for pushback on credentials, but Carter nods. Riley's lawyer objects introducing a new exhibit screenshot of my tweet last night. It's time she pays. I testify it referenced accountability, not violence. Context truncated. Carter peers over glasses, asks Riley if she spliced video. Lawyer denies. Carter taps gavel lightly. Given contradictory digital evidence and sworn affidavits, court will delay TRO ruling pending forensic review. In interim, neither party to post new content regarding ongoing litigation. My stomach plunges repo update freeze, but not takedown. Riley hisses to lawyer. Judge adds, Ms. Haley Parker retains visitation with minor pending CPS report. Next hearing in 10 days. Gavel. We exhale. Outside cameras swarm. Priya shields me. Jordan shouts links to the repo for transparency. Riley storms past, muttering, Enjoy your ceasefire. Mark heads to his car, plans to file motion to reopen his custody. As we load into Tacoma, Dad stands near a news van, plastic bag of metronome pieces in hand, like evidence and apology in one. Rain starts again. He steps forward, voice small. I want to testify for you. My breath catches. The child who shouted loudest no longer his compass. I glance at Jordan Priya. This could tilt entire family narrative, but risk reopening every wound. Before I answer, Jordan's phone blows up with push alerts. He shows me. Massive data breach, proof repo hacked, private logs dumped on dark web. My chest caves. Headlines follow victims' database, exposed millions of hash IDs. Comments scream, reckless. Data leak queen. Riley's assistants across lot cheer, filming our stunned faces. The breach timestamp 3:11 exact moment. Carter issued content freeze, meaning repo lock hindered updates but not threats. We're now accused of leaking personal data globally. CPS, the board, the judge, everyone will see this before we can patch. Riley winks as her black SUV pulls away. Dad's bag of shattered metronome dampens in rain. My bracelet feels suddenly heavy, like the circuit just shorted. I swallow stormy air, realize the next move isn't tech or court. It's philosophy, whether to abandon transparency or double down under even harsher scrutiny. Sirens wail in distance, unclear if police or just Austin's usual chaos. But their pitch matches the rushing in my ears, and in that discordant note, I feel the fragile glass of every truth we've built start to crack. The breach notification throbs like neon behind my eyelids, while rain turns the courthouse steps into a slip and slide of panic. A dozen phones buzz in unison. Reporters, attorneys, random bystanders. everyone reading the same headline that paints me as the reckless coder who just doxed half the internet. Jordan's face drains to chalk. Priya swears in syllables I don't recognize. Dad, still clutching the ziplock of busted metronome gears, looks from the screen to me, as though the glass inside cracked a second time, and he can't decide which fracture to mourn. Reflex kicks in incident triage. I yank my laptop from the Tacoma hotspot to my phone and sprint beneath the courthouse awning, where at least the rain can't short my keyboard. Repo activity log shows a force push from a user named Clockstopper at 3:11 p.m. Same minute, Judge Carter's gag order landed overwriting our README with a ransom note. Truth has a price. Delete everything by midnight or we publish the raw KYC data. OSIS. They also dumped a 112.2 gig zip of redacted but still sensitive spreadsheets into a popular leak forum already mirrored 50 times. My stomach caves. We sanitized, but to be safe, we kept one internal branch with original timestamps and partial account numbers behind a private token someone found it. I lock the repo revoke keys, but damage spreads faster than a wet cough on a cheap airline. Priya hovers voice low. Could be Riley? Could be a third-party troll. Farm capitalizing, doesn't matter the optics pin it on us. Jordan's fingers blur over his phone, mapping IP relays. Early hops originate in Kyiv, then Estonia, then domestic VPS out of Plano. He groans. Whoever did this studied my patterns, like they knew when we'd be in court when repo would freeze. Which screams inside a job, or at least someone with real-time access to our schedule. Dad edges closer, rainwater dripping off his baseball cap. He offers the plastic bag of metronome shards. Take these, he mumbles. They belong with the rest of the evidence before something else breaks. The gesture is small, but the symbolism wallops me. The same man who once locked me out is now handing over the corpse of Riley's favorite prop, entrusting me to preserve what's left of the timeline. I tuck the bag between laptop and battery pack, the broken wood clacking like tiny castanets every time I move. Detective Alvarez calls voice crisp she just caught the breach alert through her county SOC feed. Technically, it's outside her jurisdiction, but given the ongoing criminal matter, she's looping in the FBI Cyber Task Force. She keeps it clinical. Collect logs, preserve RAM. No tweeting apologies without counsel. But I hear frustration beneath the protone. This hack muddies chain of custody could help Riley argue the entire repo is tainted fruit of the poisonous tree. Alvarez ends with stay put. Agent Hartman's 20 minutes out. 20 minutes feels like forever when the internet's hemorrhaging trust. Priya pulls up trending hashtags, #data leak, queen above. Free Riley algorithms feeding the villain arc she scripted. Influencer pundits label our transparency crusade arrogant. Privacy advocates call me reckless. Even some tech ethics folks say the repo's crowdsource model was doomed. A senator weighs in somebody always does, claiming this proves why elite coders need regulation. My head throbs. Dad asks, what can I do? Years of wishing he'd ask that question crash into the present moment. I hand him my phone open to the family group chat still dormant since exile. Drop your affidavit there. Say the screens were fakes. Then tell them the hack isn't me, it's another con. He nods with a gravity I haven't seen since he taught me to parallel park thumbs, moving slow but steady. We relocate to a coffee trailer a block away. Least Wi-Fi sketchy shelter we can find. Jordan sets up a fresh tunnel to scrape new hash dumps. Priya DMs a lawyer from Electronic Frontier. I craft a concise tweet thread owning the breach without accepting blame, promising full cooperation with investigators, reminding that our repo withheld personal addresses. Before I can hit post, a notification pops. Account temporarily limited due to potential terms violation. Riley's attorney evidently filed an emergency content block using the very gag order still cooling on Judge Carter's desk. My digital voice goes silent in one swipe. I sit there blinking at the gray screen until it blurs. Then a private signal ping from Mark Johnson. Riley live again. She claims you bribed Dad for fake affidavit, showing Doc with his signature and a Venmo receipt. I nearly laugh. Dad doesn't own Venmo. Riley's foraging in real time, but crowds love a rolling saga. Mark texts another bomb. She's headed to Lily's school pickup. Says she'll reclaim her daughter on camera. My pulse rockets. CPS might still be processing their preliminary report. If Riley grabs Lily now, she'll spin a heroic rescue before the system can intervene. Grandma can't physically stop her. The school will release Lily to any parent unless there's an active court restriction, and none exists yet since Riley still retains legal custody. My training in risk prioritization kicks in. Data leaks are fixable. A child yanked into a live stream isn't. I grab car keys, bark to Jordan, and Priya school run. Now, Dad volunteers to drive. He's never missed a PTA meeting, knows the back routes. We pile into the F-150. Metronome shards rattle in my lap like dice deciding fate. Rain eases, but roads still slick. Dad white-knuckles the wheel, apologizes under breath for every year he believed noise over nuance. We hit MLK Boulevard at 37 miles per hour windshield wipers, keeping tempo with my bracelet heartbeat. Halfway there, Agent Hartman phones Jordan's line. He relays we're pursuing child safety escalation. Hartman orders us to stay clear, promises APD cruisers en route. But I know Riley, she'll milk confrontation, create viral martyr footage, maybe vanish before cops arrive. Dad floors it. We reach the elementary just as students spill out like Skittles under gray sky counselors, shepherding umbrella clusters. Riley's black SUV idles at the curb, ring light suction mounted to dash a gimbal on the passenger seat, capturing wide shots. She's outside umbrella and influencer yellow mic clipped to collar, telling 2,500 live viewers how she's about to reunite a broken family. When she spots the F-150, she beams, bigger whispers something to the phone about thief ant crashing the scene. CPS worker Martinez is already there, argument posture with the assistant principal paperwork flapping. Riley produces a crumpled custody form obviously outdated and tries to push past. Dad exits our truck first, voice quaking but loud. Riley, stop. You forged my signature again. She spins, disbelief flickering. He's never confronted her publicly before. Students gape. Her live chat hearts stall, audience senses tension. I step forward, silicone bracelet visible. Camera swivels, Riley tilts umbrella so light catches leftover raindrops, turning them into cinematic bokeh. Folks, here's the hacker herself, she purrs. I breathe steady, speak to Lily, who's emerging from the doors, clutching her butterfly backpack. Hey kiddo, Auntie's here with Grandpa. Lily lights up, but Riley intercepts, kneeling dramatically embracing her child while facing the camera. The crowd murmurs. Priya whispers that APD ETA is 4 minutes. I address the assistant principal quickly. Police case number 225987 CPS active. Releasing Lily now violates protocol. He hesitates. Glances at Martinez, who nods. Riley tries to argue parental rights, but Dad interjects, voice firm for once. Until the judge sorts this, Lily stays with Mom and me. He slips calling my grandmother Mom. He's flustered, but impact lands. The live chat scrolls confusion. Narrative destabilizing. Suddenly, Riley pulls out the broken metronome's copper pendulum wire, must have pocketed it before, and waves it like a relic. You want to talk evidence? This wire carries micro traces of my sister's fingerprints from the night she threatened Lily. She's improvising, but audience devours theatrics. I hold up the Ziploc broken body parts, clacking. Funny I have the rest, the chain of custody you broke when you trespassed. I toss the bag to Martinez, who seals it in her satchel. Riley's facade fractures, eyes darting for exit. 2 APD cruisers screech, curbside lights strobing. Officer shouts orders. Riley's live feed jerks, scrambling. Her phone tumbles, capturing asphalt. They cuff her again, but this time in front of Lily, which guts me. Lily cries, "Mommy?" Dad gathers her tears, streaking both their faces. I kneel, whisper a raise and pizza until she hiccups calmer. Riley gets driven away, screaming about hacked repos and false narrative. Her viewers count spikes, but comments turn sour, kids crying on camera, shatter brand loyalty. Back at Grandma's CPS places, Lily temporarily with my parents under supervised contact. Irony tastes metallic, but safest short term. Dad signed sworn statement for Hartman admitting he once forwarded Riley's fakes to family without vetting, effectively becoming an accessory to defamation. His voice breaks, but he finishes. Grandma bakes banana bread again. None of us eat. Evening rehab forge board emails me an offer, probationary hire contingent on legal clearance, plus PR clause requiring me to disable all personal social channels 6 months. Relief jolts through fatigue. Job means health insurance means future, but silencing feels like surrender. I ask for 24 hours. Jordan's home network logs reveal the hack came through his Slack token on a laptop he left at co-working space. CCTV shows Riley's ring light assistant using a USB rubber ducky. We forward footage to Hartman. He says federal charges stack higher by the hour. But the leak's already seeded across torrents. We can't unring that bell. Priya drafts a Medium post explaining how transparency without InfoSec hygiene endangers everyone, invites cybersecurity community to audit our rebuild. She wants me co-author. It could salvage our cause or hand trolls new ammo. My bracelet warms under lamplight metal, remembering skin. At midnight, Lily video calls from my parents' guest room, mom reading bedtime story in background. Lily shows me the butterfly. She glued a new antenna from a broken metronome spring Dad found. It makes her fly straight again, she says, wobbling the craft. My chest caves with an ache so raw, it tastes like salt air. Kid turns trauma scraps into lift. When call ends, I find Mark asleep on couch, clutching his own affidavit drafts. Priya's passed out laptop humming. Jordan's pacing balcony muttering hash keys. The house smells of rain and burnt coffee. I sit alone at dining table, open a fresh doc, title it Project Recode Manifesto v2.0. I start with simple truth systems fail. When people weaponize narrative faster than procedures update. But communities can patch. It's part apology, part blueprint for civic digital literacy workshops. The thing I'd envisioned before life detonated. I outline lesson plans spotting deep fakes, securing two-factor teaching kids algorithm skepticism. I picture Lily front row butterfly hair clip bobbing, and the idea steadies me like a warm hand on the spine. 1 a.m. Text from Agent Hartman. Federal grand jury greenlit. Need you in chambers 8 a.m. Bring original bracelet for forensic imaging. Its solder flux may trace USB rubber ducky batch. I answer yes. Court again at dawn. I lock manifesto draft, stare at banana bread, untouched, and finally break off a piece tasting cinnamon resilience. My phone buzzes one last time, a number tagged. Unknown maybe, from prison phone bank. I answer, static then? Riley's strained whisper. Enjoy your victory lap. You think you've won, check your mail in the morning. Line dead. I freeze. Outside postal trucks won't run till 6, but seeds of dread already sprout. I glance at metronome shards evidence bag zipped inside CPS satchel and realize Riley still had one piece, the copper wire she waved at school. She kept a fragment, a key, maybe enough to construct one more narrative twist. I jot a reminder, secure physical, mail alert Hartman. Then I power down screens and finally let my forehead hit the table. The storm outside clears. Moonlight slides across circuit-stamped skin, spelling its silent Morse. Keep pushing. But just before sleep claims me, I imagine tomorrow's mail truck roaring up the street, engine rumbling like a metronome too big to break, counting down to whatever final gambit my sister mailed from the back of a cruiser, and I know Dawn will demand the hardest compile yet. The morning mail truck pulls up at 6:17 engine, thumping a bass line through Jordan's thin apartment walls. And even though I've only logged maybe 2 hours of face-down sleep, my eyes snap open like someone yanked a ripcord. The promise or threat of whatever Riley sent crackles louder than caffeine. I tiptoe past Priya curled on the futon and Jordan sprawled across dual beanbags. Grab my hoodie, shove the silicone bracelet halfway up my forearm for luck, and pad downstairs barefoot because I can't find shoes in the debris field of cables and ramen cups. The carrier, a grizzled guy in UT cap, recognizes me from the news and flinches as if I might deep fake his route into a scandal. But I plaster on my politest crisis smile. Certified signature, he mutters, produces a narrow tube the length of a blueprint roll return address, handwritten but smudged with what looks suspiciously like jail-issued ink. I sign beneath a printed instruction: deliver before 7 a.m. or narrative dies. And that phrase gnaws my ribcage because it is exactly Riley's tone melodramatic threat disguised as marketing copy. Back upstairs, I break the seal. Inside is a single strip of Super 8 film, brittle and smelling of vinegar, plus a note printed on courthouse laser paper. Still think you know the whole story. Project this, noon, Auditorium AO, Henry Middle School, or I upload. My first thought, Riley was born in 1995. She never touched Super 8 in her privileged influencer life, which means she got this clip from someone else. Maybe family archives. Maybe she spliced something damning from my childhood. My mind sprints through worst-case frames, me stealing cookies, me saying something cruel, anything she can weaponize into proof that I've always been a liar. But there's no time for speculation. I have to be at the federal building by 8, with the bracelet for imaging, then back across town by noon. If I decide to, what debut an analog film to an auditorium of parents? The risk analysis matrix looks like a Jackson Pollock splatter. Jordan groans awake, spots the tube, and instantly boots his projector calibration rig, because of course he owns one. We darken the kitchenette thread, the film with tweezers, and brace for a horror show. The first frames flicker. No sound dates stamped July 4, 2002. We see 8-year-old Riley and 5-year-old me in sparkler glow on Grandma's lawn, shrieking with that helium laughter only siblings share. Dad zooms in on Riley's grin, then pans to me, tiny pigtails, gapped teeth hugging her waist. I exhale. Innocent so far. But halfway through the reel, the camera jumps. We're inside the garage, Riley holding the metronome, same one that later splintered, explaining to Invisible Dad how she's teaching me rhythm for physical therapy volunteer work. I'm watching prehistory, the moment that device became our shared icon. Little me bangs the pendulum and squeals. Tech can heal people, and Riley echoes, together forever. The reel ends on that freeze frame, our heads touching, both of us proud and oblivious to future carnage. Jordan stops the spool. Priya wipes a tear. I reread Riley's note. She doesn't threaten to expose my wrongdoing. She's dangling nostalgia. She wants a captive audience to remember when we were inseparable, to paint herself tragic victim of sister's betrayal, hijacking family memory for sympathy. If I skip the screening, she retells the film with her own voiceover. If I show up, she controls stage. Classic hostage scenario, but the hostage is our childhood. I text Agent Hartman, summarizing analog reel noon school auditorium likely PR stunt. He replies, "Aiyun, attend if safe, wear wire. Could uncover accomplices." Ai, FBI turning me into bait again. Priya frowns, but agrees we need to manage the narrative in person. Jordan insists on rigging a portable digitizer to live stream the reel ourselves, so no selective edits. Risky court gag order. But Hartman says federal subpoena outranks local silence. We're golden as long as stream remains unlisted until after grand jury. Dad volunteers to drive again. His restitution marathon continues. At the federal building, they confiscate all electronics except bracelet and metronome shards, then guide me into a chilled lab that looks like a moon landing set. Forensic techs photograph the PCB embedded in my bracelet swab flux. Compared to residue on the rubber ducky USB, recovered from co-working space CCTV, a match would prove Riley's crew used my own earlier solder prototypes to forge the hack poetic, if nauseating. While I wait, I testify before the grand jury, timeline repo intent, hack school confrontation. The jurors' faces cycle shock, empathy, fatigue like binge-watching a soap you can't pause. 30 minutes in Hartman breaks protocol to hand me an envelope lab, results solder, composition matches USB exactly. Chain of betrayal is now literal chain of alloy. We race to O. Henry Middle by 11:50. The parking lot teems with minivans. Riley's social media blast invited all concerned Austin parents to a free seminar on digital safety. She's spinning herself as martyr-turned-educator, monetizing a redemption arc before indictment lands. Jordan slaps a GoPro to my backpack strap, streams to a secure AWS bucket. Priya edits captions in real time. Inside the auditorium, Riley stands in front of a pull-down screen ankle monitor, blinking under a boho skirt. Ring lights flanking like paparazzi. She waves when she sees us microphone syrupy. Speak of the devil, or rather the hacker herself, the crowd murmurs. Some faces recognize me from last night's hashtags, others just smell drama. Riley dims house lights, starts the Super 8. Kids fidget, while parents clutch iPhones. The footage of Sparkler Night rolls soft focus, analog warmth. Gasps ripple. It's undeniably sweet. Then Riley overlays live commentary. Back when my sister still loved me, before greed changed her. My stomach knots, but Jordan's live feed injects a text overlay only internet viewers can see. Frame metadata verified, commentary unverified. We're fact-checking in real time, invisible to room, but saved to archive. Mid-garage scene. Riley pauses. The film zooms on little me, hitting the metronome. She says, even then she was plotting her tech empire. She told me someday she'd steal anything to win. Laughter and audience uneasy. I step forward, micless, but voice steady. Roll soundless, film, hear no words. She's adding fiction. Riley's brow twitches. I appeal to the crowd. Let's watch to the end without narration. Decide together. Teacher volunteers nod. Peer pressure forms. Riley hesitates, her script derailed but relents. She plays remainder silently. As freeze frame lands, lights rise. Before Riley can speak, I address parents. I'm Haley Parker. Yes, we're in legal conflict. This reel shows love, not greed. Ask yourselves why she wants to rewrite it live. Murmur escalates. A mom raises hand. Is it true your repo leaked our data? I clarify no addresses, only hashed transaction logs, breach external. Under investigation. Jordan casts slide showing timeline angles, highlighting clock stopper hack from Ukrainian VPS. Priya displays link to EFF statement supporting our audit. Crowd mood shifts to confusion and exhaustion. Nobody likes being props in a sibling war. Riley, seeing grip slip, reaches into tote and brandishes her last metronome fragment, the copper pendulum wire, now twisted into a bracelet of her own. You stole my brand, my story, she shouts, but I still have the heart of it. She snaps the wire in two for dramatic effect, and police step from wings. Agent Hartman, Detective Alvarez uniformed deputy, they serve the federal warrant mid-stage. Audience gasps. Hartman states charges interstate wire fraud, cyber intrusion, witness intimidation. Riley tries to pivot to camera. See oppression, but cuffs click, ring lights topple. Her assistants scatter. One trips over extension cord, plunges auditorium into half-dark like a glitching live stream. As they escort Riley out, she locks eyes with me. For the first time, the bravado flickers into something raw fear maybe, or the reckoning of someone who just realized the algorithm can't save her offline. She mouths, "You ruined me," and I feel a shard of pity slice through triumph. Because the tape proved we once danced under the same fireworks, believed the same myth of unbreakable siblinghood. Somewhere between then and now, 1,000 micro-choices rewrote our codebase, turning promise into poison. And I can't debug her path, only mine. Press swarm the parking lot. Hartman shields me toward an exit. Whispers that grand jury delivered true bill formal indictment, unsealed tomorrow. Alvarez promises CPS will review custody options. Lily likely to stay with my parents short-term. Then, if I'm willing, long-term guardianship evaluation. The word guardianship hits like a sunrise and thunderclap together. A life where I become anchor parent to a niece whose mother I helped incarcerate, moral recursion depth 100. Back at Jordan's, the house smells of stale espresso and victory fatigue. Priya cues the unlisted livestream to public with EFF commentary. Within an hour, Super 8 truth trends higher than Data Leak Queen. Journalists recut the nostalgia reel as cautionary tale of influencer psychodrama. Rehab Forge Board's texts. Offer stands PR clause adjusted. We support your digital literacy initiative. I signed digitally. First stable job since this began. A commit merged. That night, family meeting at Grandma's. Mom eyes red but clearer sets banana bread on table. Yet again its smell, now scent track of trauma processing. Dad reads his full apology aloud, no excuses, concluding, "Believing lies is a choice. I chose wrong. I'm choosing better." Grandma nods approval. We discuss Lily's future. CPS suggests continuity stay with grandparents, but extended weekends with me evaluation period. I ask Lily what she wants. She taps my silicone bracelet, says I want to build one with code lights. We all laugh through tears. Decision made. Weeks pass in montage. I start at Rehab Forge pair program with Ian, who turns out to love terrible puns as much as I do. Project Recode workshops launch Saturdays in the public library makerspace. First cohort sells out. Dad volunteers to teach basic soldering, redemption through flux. Mom handles snack table. She bakes banana bread, of course. Lily sits front row butterfly hair clip and safety goggles, designing a metronome-inspired rhythm game that triggers LED wings when you hit perfect tempo. She names it Heartbeat Harmony. Riley's trial dominates headlines for a hot minute. Then the internet chases shinier scandals. She pleads no contest, gets 5 years with eligibility for tech fraud rehab program in year 3. She petitions to make influencer content from prison. Judge denies. Occasionally scribbles letters to Lily. CPS filters them. One arrives for me, a single sheet scrawled, "Remember Sparkler Night? We could have built something beautiful." I fold it into an origami butterfly, place it on my desk, as bug reminder unchecked envy corrupts. On the anniversary of the Super 8 Showdown, we host a Project Recode Expo at the same middle school auditorium. We project that Sparkler film again this time, with no voiceover, just ambient lo-fi beat. Lily mixed herself. I stand beside her and let the reel wash over a crowd of parents, coders, and kids who now recognize artifacts and metadata because we taught them. When little me bangs the metronome and squeals about tech healing, people groan. Me feels the circle close, solder joint, cooling into permanence. After cleanup, I step outside. The Texas dusk hums with cicadas sky-streaked orange, like the inside of a neon grapefruit. I slip the bracelet off for the first time in months, roll it between fingers, noticing how the solder joints dulled from constant wear. Symbols matter, but they're only as strong as the stories we power them with. I set the bracelet on the brick ledge by the main door next to Lily's prototype metronome with rainbow LEDs. She runs over, confused. "Auntie, you forgot your super bracelet." I kneel, hug her. I think it's time the symbol belongs to everyone now. Tech that heals, remember. She grins, flips the switch. LEDs pulse a heartbeat across the bricks. As families load into minivans, Dad sticks around, asks if I'm coming home for Sunday dinner. I scan the parking lot. No ring lights, no ankle monitors, just moths orbiting street lamps. Maybe next week, I say, after code freeze. He laughs, understanding version control humor at last, and heads off with Mom. Priya and Jordan emerge, arguing about whether to sandbox the next repo in Rust or Go. I tease that Rust makes memory safety prettier. Jordan retorts, "Memory's never safe, we learned that." We all grin tired. The lot empties. One last car remains an agent sedan. Hartman leans against it, hands in pockets. Grand jury wants a recap, you up for testimony round 2. I sigh but nod. He scans the LED metronome pulsing behind me. "Nice rhythm," he says. "Looks like it finally found the right tempo." I glance at the glowing wings, the soldered bracelet resting peacefully. And for the first time in what feels like a decade, I hear no phantom tick in my head, just cicadas, distant laughter, and the rustle of possibilities unscripted by any algorithm. I turn toward the agent's car, ready to keep pushing, but leave the bracelet behind its circuitry humming invitation to whoever needs the next beat.